Hello and welcome to the Signmakers studio. I'm Lawrence from Greens and Signmakers, and this week we're going to talk about wide format printing. Simon's joining me. He's been in our print department and running it for as long as I remember.
Quite a while.
A year or two, yes. Got a bit of experience. When people hear wide format printing, what do you think that actually means and what do you think they understand?
I think from a Greens perspective, I would say wide format printing is anything that's a little bit wider than 1370. At Greens, we go from 1370 all the way up to 5 metre, which is now considered to be grand format.
Okay.
Which is obviously wider than wide format. So I would say that wide format is probably self-adhesive vinyl graphics, typically 1370 millimetres wide, 1600 millimetres wide. Yeah. However, at Greens, we print 3.2 metre wide banner, flex face and textiles, going all the way up to 5 metre banner, flex face and textiles.
Yeah, we do a lot of the wider format stuff, a lot of wallpapers, as you say, a lot of the big textile things, yep, which we might do up to 30, 40 metres long.
Yeah. And
it's really used in a lot of the retail environment, but exhibitions and things like that.
So absolutely. So as well as mesh. So we had a contract where we did a mesh frontage and that was 50 metres long by around 5 metres deep.
5 metres deep, yeah.
So it was a huge undertaking where mesh would be the only way to go, really, because otherwise, if the wind got hold of it, it might pull the front of the building down.
So yeah, modern signage really does, we find, rely heavily on wide format digital print. As we said, Simon's been here for many years and seen it all come and go. Tell us a bit about your history then within the signage industry and in the print department.
So specifically the print department, we had a machine that was based on water-based ink called the Victory EcoJet.
When was this?
This must have been about 20 years ago, something like that. And it was retrofitted with solvent-based inks, which basically killed the printer. Every few days we would have to replace the heads with new heads. All the pipes were rotting due to the solvent. And it was pretty
messy. The start of solvent, really?
I would say it was probably the start of solvent. I think before that it was all water-based inks, therefore it wasn't really made for outdoor use.
The first one I really remember was one of the early Mimakis. Was that the next kind of printer?
Not really. After that we had 2 roller machines, so an AJ1000 and an SJ1000. Yeah. So they were a wider format, about 2.6 metres wide, which we printed flex face skins and self-adhesive vinyl graphics. That was just purely a print machine, whereas the Victory EcoJet was print and cut.
Oh, really?
So it was print and cut in the same piece of kit, which meant we couldn't really laminate, so it was literally print and then it would go around and cut.
Yeah. When I first came back from uni and started working in the factory, we had a rollout of Harvey's at the time, wasn't it? And that was all cut vinyl flexes, which was the kind of go-to standard before print. So much quicker now, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, there was a time where we used to have coloured flex face skins and we would create a mask which would apply to the flex face itself, and then we would use acetone to wipe away the areas that didn't want to have the colour on, and then you'd apply self-adhesive vinyl stickers to that through translucent graphics. It was very, very labour intensive. So with the advent of digital printers, it's made life so much easier.
Precisely. Much quicker and better, far more detail. So Simon, you've obviously seen many printers come and go. Can you fill us in with what we're running now and what the best use for and the pros and cons?
So at the moment we have 3 machines. We have the HP 2700W, which is a latex-based machine, 3.2 metres wide, roll to roll. 2 new printers to our print fleet, which is the EFI Q5R. It's a 5 metre wide roll to roll, a UV based machine. And the latest printer is the M3H, 3.2 metres wide, hybrid machine, so it can print roll-to-roll media and rigid materials up to 50 millimetres thick.
Why would you use the HP over one of the EFI UV ink ones?
The main reason for this is that with latex-based inks, it comes off the printer cured, and it's very, very flexible, so it's ideal for using vehicle wraps and other applications of that type where you require very, very flexible substrates go into very, very curved surfaces. The Q5R, with it being a 5 metre wide machine, is very, very good for large flex face skins. large fabrics and anything banner related, and mesh up to 5 meters wide. The M3H is a hybrid machine, so we can print up to 3.2 meters wide, so flex faces, banners and things of that type. Also, we can print rigid media up to 50 millimeters thick, so it could be very, very thick foam board, ACM and other materials that are rigid.
Yeah, great for like hoarding panels and things.
Absolutely.
Quick panels to chuck through it.
Yes.
With investing in those two new ones, it was a lot of speed we were trying to get as well as the quality, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, so these two new machines from EFI, they basically increase our print capacity massively compared to other inkjet technologies. And this is what we need going forward into the next decade to try and improve our print capacity and our competitiveness, basically.
Trying to keep up to date with the latest technology, so we have the ability to do the volume that our customers need, but also the quality. They're still amazing quality, aren't they?
Absolutely. With our new machine and updates to our software, we're enabled to print up to 9 layers, which opens creative solutions to problems that Signmakers have had in the past. For example, with 9 layers of print with our M3H, we can now create braille signage. With the latex machines, you can find that the print quality is maybe slightly better, but there is an issue with speed. Whereas our ViewTech machines, UV based, so fast, proper production machines, so we can really churn out the work, but still have a really high quality at the end of the day.
And it's nice to have that balance of all the 3 machines that we run day to day, just so we can use the specialist features for the customer. And
yeah, I mean, we pick the machine to the task and for the client as well.
Yeah. So we've mentioned we've got 2 printers that run UV and 1 with the latex. What is the difference? Why are the 2 technologies used?
From a UV point of view, our printers are cured with UV light, so it's not much heat, more power efficient. The latex machines are cured with heat, so it burns away any excess moisture, leaving a very, very thin layer of ink onto the substrate. But we tend to find that it's basically a giant radiator. So typically our 2700W is around 12 kilowatt hours, whereas the UV machines, which are cured with LED light, UV light, typically use around 3.5 kilowatt hours.
So yeah, it uses more energy, but luckily with our solar panels on the roof, on a summer's day, it's offset because of that. So there's obviously more to printing than just pressing print, which I know is the often little tease a factory might do. So what techniques do we use when printing to create some great effects?
So basically, I would say the simplest form of printing, especially on rigid materials, is a single layer of ink, or what we call single strike, where basically it's one single layer to produce things like ACM panels, hoarding, foam signage, safety signage, things of that ilk.
Yeah. There always used to be, and it's used occasionally but not very often, we always used to talk about double strike. So tell me a bit about that and why we used to do it and not so much now.
We tended to use double strike when we wanted an illuminated flex face skin or an illuminated translucent graphic, but we found that during the day when the actual sign wasn't illuminated, we found that the print was very, very dark and wasn't representative of the finished product that the client wanted. What we tend to use double strike for now more is for emulating a frosted effect for window graphics.
Yeah.
So if we've got a really complex design that the client wants to put on a window, rather than try and cut it out self-adhesive vinyl, we print a percentage of black ink, we double strike it, and that really creates a really, really nice frosted effect. And then we put a small offset on that design and cut it out so you can still see through the window and you can see the window graphic as well.
We mentioned double strike, trying to get the right colour when it's illuminated from behind. We're often doing that before we had more modern technology available to us now. What do we do now to make the correct colour both night and day?
So there are 2 ways we can go about this. Generally speaking, it's a 3-pass process where we have the actual colour of the design on the bottom layer. We have a flood or fixed ink layer in the middle layer of white, which is quite opaque. And then for the top layer, we have the actual design again, which creates a colour enhanced or night and day graphic. Another version on multi-layer printing is the blockout, where we have a base layer of a really solid dense black, again with a white middle layer and then with a coloured top layer.
And that would achieve, like this, you know, just the letter only illumination. So as we said, you know, you can start saving money on LEDs, which we've covered before. So we mentioned white ink when we're doing it as part of a multi-layer to get the right colour. You know, I remember times when we couldn't print white ink. So what things do we do nowadays that we can use white ink?
So we have clients that demand we print onto coloured substrates, for example, a matte grey acrylic, and this looks really, really fantastic when coupled with white ink. It really, it stops reflecting light. It makes it look really, really classy.
As we said, you've obviously seen the print department grow. We've had to move departments to give you extra space, and you've helped support and grow to the facilities we've had now. Why is it important for you as a sign maker to have the print department in-house?
I would say it went back to a major rollout that we do for one of our major clients. It's still our client, where we heavily relied on outside printing, outside sourcing of print to get the job done. We realised that we're spending a large amount of cash and we were beholden to our outside agency.
So yeah, having it in-house has given us that faster turnaround, the better control over what we're doing, giving us that consistency for the customer over large projects, and really helps better communication within the factory. We can have the print in the next department when we need it. So not being a control freak, but it allows for that better control.
It does, and also if we happen to make a mistake, we can jump on it straight away. And I think Greens pride themselves on quick turnarounds and quick solutions to problems, which I think has stood us in good stead with our clients, and hence the reason why we're award-winning for customer service.
So in my time as a sign maker, I started on the factory floor. Print has just become such a large and key part of it. They say that Harvey's rollout we were in the factory hand scraping these vinyl plied, and what took a week then we can do in less than a day now. It really has become a key part of being a signage company, the wide format print, and the options are so wide of what you can do. It really allows for some creativity. So I think it's a section of the industry that will be there for many years to come. Thanks for listening. Hopefully you'll see that the wide format print is a big part of the signage industry these days. And if you have any questions, do reach out.